everyone. So I finally found the video files for this. I'd filmed this almost 2 months ago now. I'm using the paper smooches. This is the BAM bubble die, and I die cut it from some white cardstock. And I separated the two pieces, and then I grabbed 3 of my Memento inks. I have Dandelion, Tangelo, and Ladybug ink. And I'm using my little Tim Holtz mini ink blending tool, which at the time was still kind of new to me, and I'm totally loving it. But yeah, I'm just blending the ink onto these die cut pieces, and I do it over scratch paper. I way prefer this than using any sort of sponging over like the craft sheet or just anything that's non-porous, because then the ink won't dry on that and then it smears everywhere and it just gets everywhere and it drives me nuts. So when I'm doing sponging and that, I much prefer to do it over scratch paper, just that way the paper can absorb the ink, and I don't mind getting it on my fingers, but I really have a bad tendency of getting it everywhere else. So I blended the 3 colors onto the die cut pieces until I was happy with it. And then I had purposely die cut it from the center of this white piece of cardstock. And then I flipped that cardstock over and applied some Tombow Monomulti to that, and then I'm just going to mat that with a piece of red cardstock. I just wanted a nice, really thin little border around there. And then I'm going to replace the dies that I'd removed so that they're all nice and inlaid. So kind of a fun little gradient on color. Really simple. This was another boy card that I needed to get done, so I didn't want to do a whole lot of layers and embellishments and everything like that. So keeping it fun and simple and quick. So once I was done that, I grabbed, this is the Super 1 dies that coordinate with the Super stamp set. So I die cut again some white cardstock, and then I inked up the stamp with my Memento Tuxedo Black ink. And since this is a new stamp and I haven't used it, I like to stamp it off several times onto, again, scratch paper, just to help kind of get a little bit better of like adhesion of the ink. And yeah, this is before I got the new MFT hybrid inks, because I would have much rather used that. But this was before I got that, so I was using my Memento Tuxedo Black, and it worked okay. You just don't get as black of an image, but you'll see in a bit what I kind of do to combat that. So now I'm just going to play a little music while I show the Copic coloring, because again, super simple, but yeah, I'll be back in a minute. Now that I've got my little dude colored, I just grabbed some dimensionals, and some I had to cut down. Just put a big one on the main area and then a couple little ones, and got the backs peeled off. So that was just to give it a little extra something without going totally overboard. And then I'm going to adhere all this to my card base, which is again just some white cardstock, standard A2 size, so 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I just use my Tombow Monomulti again. I'd go back and forth between that and my Scotch ATG. It just depends on my mood and what I'm doing. And since I have that sitting here and already open, I just use that. I like that it gives you a little bit of wiggle room too when you're matting and that, so you can get things lined up. And then finally, just for a little bit of extra embellishment without totally going overboard, I grabbed my black Wink of Stella and I went over his little eye mask with that. So I love how it really just darkened that up and gives it a little bit of shimmer without going completely overboard. Because again, this is a card for a boy, so you don't want it all glittery and shimmery, but this is also a superhero, so you can kind of get away with it. So I just went over his little eye mask, and then I went over the little lightning bolt on his suit with the black Wink of Stella. And yeah, it just kind of finished everything off, and for a second I contemplating outlining the whole image with that just to darken all the black lines, but I realized that would be absolutely ridiculous and time consuming, so I stopped right there. So once I was done with that, I had to finish the inside of the card, and I should have zoomed out for this, so I'm sorry, I totally didn't even realize it till I'm going to edit it now. I don't know what I was thinking. So I kind of edited a lot of this out because my camera could not focus. But I grabbed this little cityscape stamp from the same set and inked it up with the same 3 inks, the Memento inks, and just stamped it all along the bottom of the inside of the card. And then I grabbed a sentiment from the same set, and I'm inking it up with my Hero Arts black ink, which I really like, but it's not compatible with Copics, so I used that for the sentiment. And then finally, I grabbed the envelope I was going to use and did the same thing on the envelope that I was going to do on the card, and this time I zoomed out a little more, so there you go. So I just inked up the little cityscape again and stamped it in all those 3 colors just along the bottom of the envelope, so it just kind of ties everything together, really quick and simple, doesn't take a whole lot of effort. And it just makes this cute little boy card. So as always, there will be a link below to my blog post with a link to all the supplies used. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye!